Welcome to CTV News Your Canada. It is Thursday, July the 3rd. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
Erin Bowers just completed one of the ultimate swimming challenges in the world.
I swam across the English Channel. I swam from near Dover to Wissant, which is on the French Opal Coast. It was a swim that took me 16 hours and 33 minutes.
She's originally from Saskatoon, now living in BC, and had hoped to set out to complete the challenge in September for her 50th birthday, but it was called off because of bad conditions. So she set out again on June 30th.
It's a really mythical sort of swim, the pinnacle of the sport, and it's always, since I was a kid, it's always held a lot of interest for me.
Bowers' last name might sound familiar to some in Saskatoon, as her dad was Kelly Bowers, who passed away in 2019. He was an inspirational teacher and coach in the community. It was his wise words that kept her going during the approximately 40-kilometer swim.
He had two sayings that he used to say to me all the time, and everyone will probably have heard these before. And the first one was, keep plugging. So you just keep going, keep plugging. And then the second one is, you got to be tough. That was the main one that I sort of repeat over in my head. You got to be tough.
She admits she thought about giving up after intense jellyfish stings on her face and arms and general fatigue, but she persevered.
When I was getting closer to France, that's where the tide really kicked in. And so I was sort of swimming in place for what felt like a really long time, and had to still keep up my stroke rate so that I'd eventually kind of push past it.
She raised money with a GoFundMe page. So far, she's a bit short of her goal of $10,000. Money is going to jumpstart a charity close to her dad's heart.
Is because it was really important to my dad that all kids would have access to do the sports and activities that they love without any financial barriers.
And she doesn't rule out doing this swim again.
It was a really good experience. I don't actually feel that bad. I just have a bit of like salt tongue.
Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
It's been a staple in downtown Mattawa for 20 years. Scott's Discount Store will be closing its doors for good at the end of the summer.
We don't really have any other discount stores other than the dollar store here. And the town's getting smaller and smaller.
The store's parent company, Giant Tiger, says the decision to close Scott's Discount was not taken lightly and was made with careful consideration following analysis. Mike Gay started an online petition which now has close to 1,000 signatures, calling on Giant Tiger to change its mind.
It's the only place with affordable groceries, and kids' clothing, for one, is a huge thing because half the kids in town are dressed from that place. So. Gay
says after conversations with others, he's learned about a dozen employees will be out of a job.
Hoping that someone with more power can speak to those higher up and see what the problem is. If it's something with the building, can they fix it? Just whatever can be done.
Giant Tiger stated that it's encouraging customers to travel to its other closest locations in North Bay or Deep River.
A lot of people that go to Scott's can't go travel. They're elder, you know what I mean? Or they're constantly on the go and working.
Mattawa Mayor Raymond Belanger told CTV News over the phone that the town has reached out to the company to try and learn more, but they've been left in the dark.
I mean, I've been talking to everybody and everyone's distraught. I mean, the biggest thing though is going to be the jobs. Some people that's been there have been there for 15 years.
Shoppers still hope the store can be saved. Eric Tashner, CTV News, Mattawa.
Her kids aren't ready to talk about it, but Carolyn Bouchard-McNeil is already planning for back to school. Not for her three, but for other people's children.
Buy new school bags, and then we have donations of school supplies that come in.
School supplies, clothes, furniture. She takes in donations and delivers them to 72 frontline shelters like Shield of Athena or the Native Women's Shelter. For 22 years, Carolyn's community was run out of her house. Now she has a donated storage room and is better able to support vulnerable people like single mothers.
They don't believe that a truckload of furniture is arriving to them this afternoon. They're sometimes skeptical until it arrives, and then they're so grateful for the community to help them just get through there every day.
Still a collection of volunteers, Carolyn's community is now a registered charity, which means they can supply tax receipts and work with bigger partners.
A lot of companies are looking to give back to the community, and a lot of the time when you reach out to organizations, they don't necessarily have time to call you back. So people are beginning to know if they call me, then they can do special projects with the school, and if I'm on text with many different directors 24 hours a day.
Bouchard McNeil prides herself on connecting businesses to shelters and getting donations to the people who need them most. She's also sharing her charity work knowledge through a new program for teens called Connecting People Through the Power of Giving.
To help and teach students and teens at a very young age that it's important to give back to their community.
CarolinsCommunity.com is where you go for information on the course and on the effort to raise $22,000 to celebrate 22 years of giving.
Hoping that now that we can issue tax receipts, that we'll be able to expand our programs and help more Montrealers in need.
Christine Long, CTV News.
It's training time for Cochrane water ninja Jack Dunza. The 18-year-old is getting ready to represent Team Canada at the Royal Lifesaving Society's Commonwealth Lifesaving Championships.
I'm super pumped to be here. It's been a long training session to get to this point, but I'm super excited.
He will be joined by 4 other members from the Water Ninjas. The quintet is looking to make a splash at the competition in Wales from July 8th to 13th, going up against the sport's top athletes from Commonwealth nations.
It's just so much fun to get to bond with all these athletes who love the sport as much as you do.
Really excited, especially with 4 other of our teammates.
The 5 will compete in events like mannequin tow, line throw, and relay races. The sport encourages participation in life-saving activities while further developing life-saving practices. The athletes competed in the 2025 Alberta and Northwest Territories Pool Life-Saving Championships in Calgary. That was one of the competitions Team Canada used in their selection process. A total of 20 athletes cracked Canada's roster. With a quarter coming from the Cochrane Water Ninjas, it shows that even if it's wet, iron still sharpens iron.
It's absolutely incredible. I think it shows to the skill and the work effort that we as water ninjas put in.
We just being able to race against each other and train every single day really pushes us to be the best version of ourselves.
The group leaves for the Commonwealth Championships July 6th. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Cochrane.
And thank you For some people, temperatures above 30 degrees Celsius are just right, under the right circumstances.
It's brutal. I love it, and as long as I'm around water, I'm good.
This is perfect. There's no better place in Canada to be is in the pool at Moose Jaw.
More than 100 people are taking a dip at the city's outdoor pool in Moose Jaw, one of several areas in southern Saskatchewan under heat warnings Wednesday.
The longer the stretch of heat that happens, generally the higher the bather load becomes. Our bather load capacity here is actually 501 swimmers. Today we're not at that. We'll probably see around 250.
Warm spells aren't uncommon in the prairies. Environment and Climate Change Canada says the higher temperatures are not unusual, especially during the summer months.
We've got a lot of warm air that's flooded up from the American Intermountains, so up through Montana, into southern Saskatchewan at this point in time. So the southern tier of the province, and especially southwestern tier of the province, has been exceptionally warm at this point.
Until the weather returns back to average temperatures, Proctor recommends shifting outdoor activities to cooler parts of the day when possible. As for people working outside, the city says keeping people safe is the main priority.
Here at the pool, we do things like shortened rotations on the pool deck, air conditioning off the pool deck. Sometimes you'll see a lifeguard will jump in the water to cool off when they're not actively supervising. Of course, hats and umbrellas, hydration.
A cool-off is expected this weekend, but there's still plenty of sunshine and poolside opportunities for the next few days. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Moose Jaw.
Everybody just keeps telling me it's not their responsibility, and too bad for me.
Tracy Brill of Oshawa recently retired and decided to take a trip with her husband this past March. A person in Saskatchewan had a condo for rent in Mexico and asked Brill to send her almost $3,500. Brill checked the email address and e-transferred the funds.
This was sent to the right email, and she didn't get it. Somebody else's, the money's gone.
The receiver did not have auto deposit set up, and Brill says she unfortunately used a security question that was easy to guess. But she had no idea hacking an e-transfer was possible.
I got like a phone call from the bank that said that the money had been intercepted by another email.
Brill did get her vacation, but had to pay for the trip twice.
I had to pay it again.
When we reached out to Interac, a spokesperson said, if an individual does not have Interac e-transfer auto deposits set up, we recommend selecting security questions with answers that are not easily guessable or based on publicly available information.
E-transfer fraud is one of the fastest growing financial crimes in Canada.
Francis Sims, a cybersecurity expert at Humber College, says while auto deposit is not fail-safe, it's one of the best ways to make sure your e-transfer gets to where it's supposed to go.
Auto deposit helps a lot because then if somebody's email account was compromised, well, what happens is as soon as the e-transfer is sent, it automatically goes into the bank account that's associated with that particular email.
Auto deposit is secure and convenient, helps protect against email fraud, verifies transactions are sent to the intended recipient, and the money is automatically deposited without security questions. As for Brill, the theft has her reconsidering using e-transfers.
I will not be using e-transfer for large amounts of money going forward.
And when e-transferring a large amount of money, Sims also recommends sending a small amount first. If it's accepted without any issues, you can feel more confident about sending the rest. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
Hunter Olson just learned about breakdancing a few months ago. Now the 12-year-old is letting loose on the dance floor.
I'm a different person in the studio. I'm not me, really. I'm B-Girl Bounty Hunter, so I'm a dancer and I'm confident.
Also new to breakdancing is 14-year-old Ben Tower. The two are getting lessons at the New Roots Breaking Studios in South Edmonton.
At first I was overwhelmed, wow, these guys are so good at this. I wonder if I'll ever get good at this. I feel like that every day I'm getting closer and closer to reaching that goal of being one of the big guys, you know?
The studio opened in April. The owner says he created this spot because breakdancing in public isn't always welcomed.
We just need a little open space for us to dance, but then, unfortunately, we always get kicked out. So having this space is really a blessing for all of us that want to continue and also start.
Breakdance involves using your entire body, from the quick foot movements to the arms helping defy gravity.
At first, when you see breaking your leg, that's insane. How am I supposed to execute that? But I think it just starts with that first step of showing up.
It's the closest thing to being a superhero, because not every day you see someone doing all these crazy moves. You can see the wave, but you won't see someone 15 seconds on one arm.
Breakdancing started in the 70s. It found its biggest audience yet, making its debut at the 2024 Summer Olympics. Canada's Phil Wizard won the men's gold medal.
I'm kind of shy at school and not super out there, so representing Canada would make a super boost for me.
Uplifting even when she's upside down. Nair Nisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
Every year it became a tradition that at 6 o'clock in the morning I'd take my dog that I had at the time and walk it and put the flags out at everybody's front porch or actually at the end of their sidewalks.
For more than 25 years, Shelley Kent has been placing Canada flags up and down Birchdale Avenue. It all began when Kent invited some neighbors over for a Canada Day party and put the flags out at the invitees' homes. Now it includes just about everyone on the street, and for the Flag Ferry, after all these years, this Canada Day may be the most special.
My husband and I used to always have Canada Day parties, and he passed away this April. So this year I thought, well, let's go put the flags out in his honor. So now every Canada Day, I will walk up and down and think of him and stick a flag in everybody's grass.
For the longest time, many people didn't even know who was planting those maple leaves on their lawns. Well, CTV News is finally revealing the secret, and we hope everyone on Birchdale had a great Canada Day.
Good girl.
For Matt Goby, this is a fresh start.
I feel 10 years younger than I did before the surgery. My energy's better, my mood is better. I'm not getting migraines anymore.
After battling end-stage liver disease, the Ottawa firefighter received a transplant from a living donor back in May.
I'm back to driving. I'm back to, showering unassisted. Little things that I used to take for granted that I haven't been able to do. Still can't carry a heavy bag of groceries, but I'll get there.
Just from our past work, we're usually the ones giving the help, and now to get the help, it's just been very healing, very incredible, very emotional.
The Gobies turned to social media and spoke with CTV News in January, trying to reach as many potential donors as possible. With time running out to find a match, Gobi went public. It turns out his donor was closer than he thought.
I just feel as firefighters, we have this dedication to each other and leaving no one behind.
Jenna McMillan is also a firefighter who has known Gobi for years. She didn't hesitate to help when she learned she was a match and felt they were in good hands with the transplant team in Toronto.
I'm feeling energized and everything's healed up really well, and I'm feeling really, really great. When I got to see Matt, feeling better and up and walking around, it made any discomfort I was going through totally worth it, and that's what it was all about, and I would highly recommend it.
Gobi says thank you will never be enough.
The risk, the cost, the discomfort, everything she had to endure to give me my life back, give my wife her husband back, give my kids their dad back. I don't know if there are words for it.
It's so incredible to have had the opportunity to be a part of that journey with Michelle and Matt. And so I'm just really, really excited for them. And I'm really looking forward to hopefully, him getting back to work. And that'll be, a really exciting day for all of us at Ottawa Fire.
Something Gobi can't wait for either.
That's how I'll know I've really got my life back, is when I can get back to doing the job I love.
Both Jenna and the Gobies say this really highlights the importance of the living donor program. Matt's wife says the biggest thing she's noticed is that he's now able to just have fun and enjoy the moment. Patricia?
So time to get back to work. It's an amazing story. Love that one, Katie. Thank you so much for this.
You're welcome.
There are dozens of food spots on Halifax's waterfront, but this brand new one hopes to offer customers something unique. They say it's the only place you can get a taste of African Nova Scotian culture and leave with a piece of its history.
It's been awesome. People that come in, they love the food. They love the whole concept.
It all started after owner Dean Lucas says he noticed African Nova Scotian culture wasn't being represented through the waterfront's current cuisine options, and that both residents and tourists had a lack of knowledge about its history.
So I started talking with them to find out if they knew anything about African Nova Scotian history and where we come from and the importance of it. So at that point, I thought I need to kind of do something, maybe create a business.
Not long after, he opened Freedom. From dusted lemon pepper wings to East Coast deep fried pepperoni, they want to tempt nostalgic taste buds and promote African Nova Scotian products.
You're teaching people about your culture, your history, and just giving them a good time. And like I said before, you're not selling food, you're selling the experience and the history. None of the stuff here is shipped from overseas, cheap stuff. It's all genuine pieces from African Nova Scotian artists.
Yeah, this is really good. The name Freedom, Lucas says, was inspired by family and his hopes for the community.
I'd love to see our communities be free, where they can build their own economies and have gas stations, stores, restaurants, have tours coming through with Kevin's bus, so they don't need to rely anymore. So I think that's a big thing of what my movement in Freedom is.
The business made its debut on Canada Day and will serve up food and facts until October. Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
Tails! It is a tail!
It is a tails.
The first coin toss, the first bowl, and the first shot. The first of many cricket contests to be held on Stratford's new cricket pitch.
I look forward to leagues growing here and people being able to play for quite some time.
Emilio Vieira is the captain of the Stratford Festival team.
Not only actors at the Stratford Festival, but members of the crew, members of staff, everyone from ushers to people who work in the shop to people who work on and off the stages are permitted to play.
This squad, the latest in an over 70-year tradition of festival cricket.
The sort of group of Brits who came over to start that festival were huge cricket fans and cricket players, and so they developed an actors team which then played with the other teams in town.
They're playing with a local cricket team who have been without a proper pitch for close to a decade.
So we all are the local community playing in Stratford for last 8 years, trying to find our ground. We were using the diamond ring or playing anywhere in the park wherever we get a spot to play.
The Stratford Game Changers say it's their love of sport that kept them playing despite the conditions.
We didn't have every single accommodation from anyone in the town, but at the same time we were putting each and everyone together so that we can keep our spirit on all the time.
Together, the Game Changers and the festival team pushed the city to give them space.
From a cricket perspective, the field location is not exactly ideal. There's a bit of a slope to the field. There's some cars they have to avoid, but after waiting so long just to get a grounds, they say this location is absolutely perfect.
We need a ground to play, and we are here. We are feeling so happy. Everyone is super excited, and we are thankful to City of Stratford and the team here who helped us throughout the way.
The festival team and the Game Changers hopeful to spark a cricket craze in Stratford.
It's reflecting a kind of global connection to the sport. I'm really excited that future generations will be able to play and learn about the sport.
The culmination of the festival's team season comes with a 50-year-old annual grudge match against the Shaw Festival from Niagara-on-the-Lake. That game will take place Monday, August 25th in Stratford. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Stratford.
Stephen Telk never imagined he'd be spending his retirement traveling with a rescue cat he named Miss Bunny.
Because she hops like a bunny, because she's three-legged.
Instead of stopping to show affection for this feline, the avid adventurer assumed he'd continue scaling the world's tallest peaks until he started experiencing debilitating pain.
My feet just hurt so bad I couldn't stand on them.
Stephen says he couldn't walk more than 100 meters, his retirement dreams were dashed, and he fell into a depression.
Part of the problem with being type A, we get fixated, and we can't figure out how to be happy when things don't go the way we want them to go.
But then he met Miss Bunny, who, despite languishing in an animal shelter for 3 years, couldn't have seemed more content.
She's minus a leg, I got foot neuropathy. We'll be a good match for each other.
And then his wife suggested a recumbent trike might also make a good match, so he could challenge himself without putting full weight on his foot. So Stephen and Miss Bunny started cycling together.
Sometimes she's just got her head hanging over the side with her eyes closed like, are we there yet? Sometimes she's pawing at my knees. Hey.
The dynamic duo from Wyoming cycled countless kilometers around the U.S. before now traveling along the west coast of Canada, spreading smiles along the way.
Nobody even knows I'm on there. What are you riding? A trike? I didn't see any trike. All I see is this cute little cat here.
And Stephen says he couldn't be more grateful that his travels with Miss Bunny are a big reason why he's the happiest he's ever been.
Most people go somewhere and all they think about is how to get to point B, and then their interest in the trip starts. When you're on a bicycle, the whole time is your trip.
Rather than racing to a destination, the 71-year-old says he's learned life truly is about appreciating the journey.
I'm still type A, but I'm reformed. I'm laid back. It's like, what's the old saying? Don't worry, be happy.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Saanich.